we got our best indication yet that Caitlin Clark is on her way back toward a return for the Indiana Fever. Stephanie White did talk about Caitlin Clark, and I thought the comments were fairly telling. Here's what she had to say.
Caitlin, able to go through your little walkthrough or whatever you normally do, and what do you want to see ultimately to get comfort whenever the time comes?
Caitlin Clark just laced up for practice again, and the entire WNBA is scrambling. After weeks sidelined by a nagging groin injury, the Indiana Fever's franchise centerpiece is officially back on the hardwood. And whether you love her or hate her, one thing's certain: her return has the whole league buzzing with one burning question: is this comeback too soon, or exactly what Indiana needs to flip the script? Whatever your stance, no one in the league is ready for what's coming. Fever fans are celebrating like it's Christmas in August, but the players who've spent the last 2 months taking subtle jabs and open shots at Clark, they're sweating bullets. Because make no mistake, Caitlin Clark changes everything.
After our walkthrough yesterday, today it was very short, prior to game time, but she went through it yesterday, and I want to see her in practice, live in practice. Want to see her continue to work to not just build endurance, but to be able to handle contact 94 feet as it's going to be in game, and to be able to do that and sustain from an endurance standpoint. And that's going to take multiple practices to make sure that there's no regression. And as most of us know, when we get fatigued, we look different, and see how she plays through fatigue.
The moment Clark was spotted back at practice, jogging, hitting jumpers, dishing passes, the WNBA's balance tilted. She hasn't even been cleared for full contact, but her presence alone sent a ripple through the entire league ecosystem. Videos hit social media and immediately went viral. Fans exploded with excitement. TV execs took notice. And rival teams, they started biting their nails. Because let's be honest, the WNBA might talk about parity, but everyone knows who's driving the league's engine. Ticket sales, TV contracts, viral highlights, fan engagement. All roads lead back to Caitlin Clark. Even at 80%, her return shifts the entire playoff landscape, and that's what's got rivals, and maybe even league execs, panicking.
You see Caitlin Clark, this video captured by Chloe Peterson at Shoot Around. You can see Caitlin doing some work right there, just, warm-up work, back and forth on the court, but nonetheless on a basketball court. It's been a long time since we've seen Caitlin Clark on a basketball court, certainly a long time since we've seen Caitlin Clark play basketball.
When Clark went down, so did Indiana's momentum. It wasn't just a short-term absence. She missed nearly 2 full months, and that kind of gap can completely derail a young, injury-riddled team. Sophie Cunningham, out. Chloe Bibby, out. Sydney Colson and Ari McDonald, also sidelined. What was left in Indiana wasn't a playoff roster, it was a patchwork squad barely fit for scrimmage. Without Clark's gravity, pulling defenders out to the logo, creating space for cutters, unlocking Aaliyah Boston in the post, Indiana's offense crumbled. It went from professional execution to YMCA-level chaos. That's not disrespect, that's reality. They blew leads, lost rhythm, and slipped in the standings. Kelsey Mitchell dropped 20-plus night after night trying to keep things alive, but it felt like she was bailing water from a sinking ship with a plastic cup.
Because if you look at the Fever injury list, it's just wild to see. It's like the Star Wars scroll at the end of one of those movies. It's just a endless list of players who have been out, back out of the lineup again, and really just a lineup that you could build if you were the Indiana Fever. You could roll out there if you were experimenting, depending on the situation and the nature of the game.
Clark's return to practice lit a fuse. The internet exploded with memes, debates, playoff projections, you name it. Fans had been desperate for a reason to believe again, and just seeing no 22 back in uniform sent optimism soaring. Suddenly, Indiana wasn't dead in the water. Suddenly, there was hope. And hope is dangerous, especially for the teams currently fighting for the last playoff spot. Los Angeles, Golden State, Washington, they all felt it. Because a healthy Caitlin Clark doesn't just improve the Fever, she turns them into a threat.
There was a little bit more footage here, and you see Caitlin involved on the floor yet again, even handling the ball, working with her teammates. I mean, that's an important sign there to see her working with her teammates.
That's the heart of the debate. Some argue she should sit the rest of the season and heal. Groin injuries are tricky. They linger, they flare up, and rain jury could cost her even more time, maybe even derail 2026. The cautious crowd is thinking long-term, franchise future, career longevity. But the other side, the fans, the broadcasters, the sponsors, and yes, the WNBA itself, they're not thinking about 2026. They want action now. They want playoff drama, record-breaking viewership, and packed arenas. And they know none of that happens without Clark. Let's not kid ourselves. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and the league office aren't worried about Clark's groin. They're worried about the league's bottom line. Caitlin Clark is the league's golden ticket, and if she's able to play, they want her back on the floor. Yesterday.
Notice when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
This is the same woman who dragged Iowa to back-to-back national title games, dropping logo threes and dagger passes while shouldering insane expectations. She's built for pressure. She lives for it. So don't expect her to watch from the bench if she feels even remotely capable. Clark wants to compete. That's who she is. And if Indiana's medical staff clears her, she'll push to play, even if it's just to spark one final playoff push.
Look like we may actually have some legitimate movement in the direction of Caitlin Clark coming back, and I will sort of look at the schedule with you guys and try to determine what game I think she might actually show back up in.
Let's talk about the numbers. Right now, the Fever are clinging to life in the standings. 1 or 2 more losses, and they're out. But a win streak, that could flip everything. Imagine Clark returns in a must-win showdown against the Sparks. If she's even close to her old self, Indiana instantly becomes a playoff favorite, while L and Golden State are forced to recalculate their paths. Her floor spacing opens up Aaliyah Boston in the post. It lets Kelsey Mitchell finally get clean looks. It breathes life into a suffocating offense. And don't forget, this is the same rookie who debuted with logo-range threes like she owned the league. Clark doesn't ease back in. She storms in.
She's healthy. It's just getting her back to where she needs to be from a basketball standpoint. But all in all, you know, even Chloe Bibby, Stephanie White said would be hopefully back at practice by the end of the week. All things considered, it's got to be the best day in Feverland in a long time.
That's the million-dollar question. If she rushes back and re-aggravates the injury, the Fever's playoff hopes vanish, and so might part of her future. But if she plays it safe and waits for next season, the WNBA closes out the year without its biggest star. But here's the thing, Clark is going to push to play. That's who she is. And if she does return, expect chaos. Expect fireworks. Expect every single critic who talked trash while she was gone to fall silent the second she drops 25 with a logo 3 to seal a win. Because Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's the storm that's about to shake up the entire league. Should she come back now or shut it down and wait for next season? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss what happens next.